by the end of the night. Drier ahead of it, a touch of frost possible in East Anglia, the southeast, but eventually temperatures lift through the night as the winds pick up. It's a bright start for parts of the Midlands, East Anglia, southern England first thing, and skies brighten through the morning for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Blustery showers push in here, but also some sunny spells. It's in between where we've got some heavy and persistent rain. Northern England, eventually the Midlands, Wales, and then by the end of the day, Cornwall as well as Devon. Temperatures aren't up to much either, 8, 9, 10 Celsius, but not feeling very pleasant where we've got the wind and the rain. Now into Saturday night, the rain tends to sink south. By this stage it's lighter and patchier, but during the early hours of Sunday the next batch of wet and windy weather starts to arrive into southwest England as well as Wales. Drier to the east and to the north, some clear spells for central and northern Scotland, a few showers here. But Sunday, really for the vast majority, soon turns wet and windy. From the west, bands of rain and wind sweep through, coastal gales for the south coast of England, and the most heavy and persistent rain affecting Wales. And really through the course of Saturday and Sunday, because of the accumulated rain, we could see some issues here. Monday is also very changeable, with spells of rain or showers moving south, likewise on Tuesday.
We've got a big Saturday for you on GB News. From 6 a.m, it's breakfast with Stephen and Anne. At 10, join Esther and Philip for the Saturday selection. Alistair, Darren and Nana take you through the day. And don't miss Neil Oliver Live at 7 p.m. At 9, it's Mark Dolan Tonight, followed by Headliners. That's Saturday on GB News.
GB News is the UK's home of discussion and debate
from all perspectives.
To stay up to date on the latest stories,
make sure that you subscribe to the GB News channel
right here on YouTube.
You can watch us live 24/7 across the whole world.
You can also check out exclusive content and catch up on previous episodes of your favourite shows.
Every day, we ask the questions
that you'd ask, so why not add your voice to the conversation in the comments section?
Don't forget to subscribe. We are GB News, Britain's news channel.
Every night at 11 on GB News, we bring you the next day's stories the day before. It's basically like time travel.
If it's a big story, we'll cover it, guaranteed. But we'll also have some fun along the way.
Big opinions, big laughs. Sometimes big hair.
This is
Headliners, the paper review show that won't send you to sleep like the others will.
11 p.m, 7 nights a week. Join us.
Hello there, I'm Eamon Holmes.
And I'm Isabel Webster.
And we hope you can join us for
Breakfast with Eamon
and Isabel.
You make me laugh out loud, belly laugh.
Is that important first thing in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's me trying to be deadly serious. News is a serious business.
Yeah, I have to rein you in sometimes.
Well, it doesn't stop us laughing at it. It doesn't stop us having an opinion on what's going on.
Yeah.
And it certainly will not stop us reflecting what you think.
Weekdays from 6 to 9:30 on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton Tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Very excited because it's time for Headliners, big opinions and big laughs with tomorrow's newspapers in the company of the creme de la creme of the British comedy circuit. So can't wait to get to that. But first, the headlines with Bethany Elsey.
I am Bethany Elsey in the GB newsroom. The Foreign Office is urging British nationals to leave Ukraine while commercial means are still available. Speaking in Moscow earlier, the Defence Secretary Ben Wallace warned Russia could invade Ukraine at any time. Russia has repeatedly denied plans to invade its neighbour, despite placing more than 100,000 troops at the border. Ben Wallace said he hopes there's a way forward after today's talks.
I was clear about the tragic consequences that any invasion of Ukraine could have. We listened to the assurances given by Minister Shoigu and indeed General Gerasimov that they would not invade Ukraine. And we urged dialogue as a way through to address any concerns that the Russian government may have.
President Joe Biden is also urging US nationals to leave Ukraine. It comes as America's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, is warning that Russia is prepared to launch an attack within the next week.
We are in the window when an invasion could begin at any time, should Vladimir Putin decide to order it. I will not comment on the details of our intelligence information, but I do want to be clear. It could begin during the Olympics, despite a lot of speculation that it would only happen after the Olympics.
In other news, the Prime Minister has received a questionnaire from the Metropolitan Police. A Number 10 spokesperson says Boris Johnson will respond as required. This is part of the Met's investigation into a number of alleged parties held in Downing Street while COVID restrictions were still in place. The Home Secretary says the next Met Police Commissioner, who will replace Dame Cressida Dick, faces stark challenges. Priti Patel says the culture at the force and the behaviour of its officers needs an overhaul by a new leader. GB News' Home and Security Editor Mark White has this update.
Here at the Home Office, Priti Patel has confirmed that she has now begun the process to find a new Metropolitan Police Commissioner. Any replacement for Cressida Dick, she says, would have to show strong and decisive leadership to deal with the institutional issues that have plagued the Metropolitan Police in recent years. It is also the most political of policing roles, having to straddle the competing demands of a Labour London Mayor and a Conservative Home Secretary.
The UK economy grew by a record 7.5% in 2021, following a large fall the year prior due to the pandemic. Official figures show GDP grew by 1% in the final quarter last year, despite the impact of the Omicron variant in December. And Spain has dropped its travel entry requirement for British children over the age of 12 to be fully vaccinated. They will only have to show proof of a recent negative COVID test, and fully vaccinated passengers no longer need to take a test when arriving back in the UK. On TV, online and DAB plus radio, this is GB News. Now it's back to headliners.
Thank you, Bethany, and welcome to Headliners, the show in which we dissect and analyse Saturday's top stories in the GB News Comedy Laboratory. Maybe we shouldn't be using the word laboratory at the moment. We've got a crack team of comedic technicians, though, to help us look at tomorrow's front pages, the ever-exuberant Sajila Kershi and the highly ebullient Diane Spencer. I'll look both of those words up after the show. How are we both? Hi, Diane. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah,
Can I just tell you, I'm doing the Leicester Comedy Festival tomorrow. I'm so excited.
This is brilliant. It is one of the biggest comedy festivals in the world, isn't it?
I think it's the second biggest in the UK, and it's really exciting. And it's been happening for about a month, and a load of comics have gone up there, and they all go up there to drink and mate. And that's how we get new comedians.
Yeah. It's funny that, because I just remember drinking.
You don't have to do the mating bit.
Don't you?
No. I mean, I met my husband at a festival, so, you know, they always bring back romantic things for me. It wasn't Leicester, but I'm still excited to go. So.
Spare us the gory details. She's not just there for the laughs, Sajila.
I know.
She's there for the groupies.
And finding partnerships. I mean, I thought the rules were never date your own, and never date in the pool.
Exactly right.
Never date in the comedy pool. I love Leicester Festival. Was great. Love it. And if we're plugging, I'm doing Let's Kill Twitter on Sunday. The first online Twitter programme about, it's like reading the news but on tweets.
There you go. Can you both stop being so successful, please? I find it very annoying. Well, let's take a look at tomorrow's front pages, and we'll start with the Daily Mail. Brits in Ukraine told get out now. Foreign Office issues alert amid warning Putin will invade in days. The Daily Telegraph next. And they've got Russia set to invade any day now, and Johnson to deny breaking law at Downing Street flat ABBA party. How about The Independent? Invasion fears as Britain's ordered to leave Ukraine. OK, how about The Guardian next? Treasury push to end free COVID tests despite warnings, and PM should stay out of Met decision. Am I the only one that's completely sick of Partygate? FT weekend, Biden fears Ukraine attack is close, and ex-spy chief urges UK to strain every sinew to keep arm listed in London. The Times next, Britain's told to get out of Ukraine. Russia could invade in days, warn Americans. Meanwhile, The Express, invasion fears. Britain's told, get out now. Britons were last night urged to flee Ukraine as the US warned Vladimir Putin could order an invasion any day. And also on the front page of The Express, the Prince, a naked massage and some very tawdry jokes. I'll be discussing that with my brilliant panel in just a couple of minutes. How about The Mirror? Brits in Ukraine warned, get out. Expats told to flee for safety. Russian threat is immediate. It seems those peace talks between Vladimir Putin and Emmanuel Macron have not borne fruit. And last but not least, the Daily Star. They're boffins, Jim, but not as we know them. One giant leap for moonkind. Eggheads say the answer to world poverty is to sell off this giant ball of cheese. We'll explain more later. And those are your front pages. Well, the situation in Ukraine appears to have escalated with, as I've just mentioned in that paper review, British citizens being told to leave Ukraine ASAP. So, Julie, you've got the Mail on this one.
Yes, I have. And it's the first time I've been hearing, like the headlines, get out, leave, go home, and thought, oh, it's not actually about me.
Yes, I know.
And, but yeah, I mean, the situation is escalating, obviously, in the Ukraine. And embassies around the world have been telling their citizens to get out, including the UK and the US. Joe Biden's told his US citizens things could get crazy quickly. I'm not sure I want the leader of the first world to act like a drunk outside a bar and saying, it's getting crazy here, I'm actually crazy.
Yeah. Calm down, Steve, she's not worth it.
It's not worth it, Ukraine's not worth it. I don't know if I want them to behave like that. Obviously, they don't want the disaster, what they had in evacuating in Afghanistan. Yeah. And so I've actually been told that the Israeli embassy is evacuating. So they're like the canary in the coal mine. So it's kind of like, obviously, things are looking really serious, and I think it looks like it's going to happen, unfortunately. And they're putting in place a decision-making protocol to facilitate the evacuation to, like I said, avoid what happened in Afghanistan, called, and I think they must have been watching the Olympics for this inspiration, because it's called the gold, silver, bronze structure. And the gold, I don't know, and I think it's only like, they haven't got it in place yet, so we're only going to assume what is this gold, silver and bronze structure, and maybe gold is like, let's evacuate all the dogs and the cats and the parrots and the canaries,
of course,
and 2 by 2 into by the Noah's Ark. I don't know, maybe that's how I'm seeing it. But
I think it's a biblical reference, definitely.
Biblical reference, because it does seem like, we say biblical, but it does seem like there is going to be a war now, which I think that's how our leader is going to try and, like I said, I've said it before in the show before, that he's trying to have kind of a moment like Thatcher, using the war to kind of...
Well, Margaret Thatcher was very unpopular in 1982, and then the Falklands War happened, which the UK won. Yeah. And then she had a landslide victory in 83.
So I think the same thing could happen with Boris.
So Putin saves Boris, Diane.
Oh, God, no. You see, Putin is equally as unpopular in his country. And I think that considering right now everything's getting really tense, we need to talk more about de-escalation rather than escalation. I'm not sure if telling everybody to get out is the right way forward. I say let's get in. I say we need to get more people over there And
what, like holiday makers or something?
I think everybody.
It's a very cold time of year in Ukraine. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I think
it's
that's
snowing.
why he's doing it now, because we've just had a cold snap, which means the ground has frozen, which means he can roll all his tanks over it to get there. But what I do feel about is it's a bit strange that people keep comparing it to Afghanistan. In my mind, and I did think, oh, good grief! What if there's some family that got out of Afghanistan and they went, let's go to Ukraine. I've always fancied Ukraine. And now they're sat in Ukraine going, in it, oh, again? Again? I've just put all my shampoos on the shelf. Like, you know.
That's the ultimate commitment, isn't it? Where you have your shampoos.
Exactly.
I completely agree.
I am with Diane, actually, because it's a horrible thing to compare it to Afghanistan. We know those images, and actually, we're talking about citizens of the country like being evacuated, but we were leaving citizens there that we'd promised were going to get them away from the Taliban with the Taliban. So, I kind of concur with my
it's very concerning.
here.
You realise that perhaps what's happening in Ukraine is more than just sabre rattling from Putin. Is he about to call the bluff of the West? Saturday's Guardian are leading with the UK Treasury pushing to end most free COVID testing. Diane, too soon?
Personally, I feel yes. I do feel it is a little too soon. They are trying to. The Treasury is trying to rake back billions. It's almost like they lost billions doing something else. Where could all the billions have gone that they're trying to claw back? So while they're trying to claw back the $6 billion in fraud that they lost, they've decided to do it by taking all the free tests away. But they've kind of made these like little announcements where they've gone, well, OK, well, look, if you're clinically vulnerable and you're over 50, you can still have them. And so they're sort of just saying that narrowing down who can get them. But something that really kind of got me is, number one, I think that's going to trigger a little bit of panic buying LFTs. I think that website's going to be a little bit inundated.
It's going to be the new loo roll, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. New loo roll, new, what was it, banana bread. Everybody's going to run out of eggs. It's all part of this document, Living Safely with COVID, which I think goes in the same kind of category as frying lightly with oil.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
One of those safety documents that we all love.
It's very true.
But they actually want to also take away the ONS survey. Now, that to me, it actually really hits home because I'm part of the ONS survey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and once a month, ever since this whole thing happened, they've been coming to my house and I've been doing the test. I get shopping vouchers.
That's remarkable.
You do. And can I tell you, as an out-of-work comedian, having a shopping voucher just for doing a little swab test has been a lifeline. So
I'd do a lot more for that. I would do it for a bag of shopping.
I would let them experiment on my body.
Just touch me anywhere you want. Do what you want. Yeah, I'm yours. Take me.
I'll do any number of drug trials just for some Morrison's vouchers.
Free bag of...
I'm a natural lab rat. Definitely. Inject away. But that's remarkable. So you're this control in the experiment that they just test you.
Yeah, so we're part of that group, and every month they just turn up and you have to answer a series of questions. And then they changed the test because they started to detect COVID antibodies. But to do that, you have to give blood. And unfortunately, I faint at the sight of blood.
Oh, no.
Yeah, once a month I have to wear a cycling helmet to the toilet. And they got me to give my blood. And sadly, I did faint, and bless her, the lady who was doing it, she was a woman who used to work for one of the airlines. And bless her, she went into full kind of airline mode going, and how are we? Are we okay? Are you fine? Can I get you a drink? I'm like, it's my kitchen, mate. Don't worry.
I'll be all right. Don't you think, though, Sajila, that we need to scale back the testing because we're dealing with Omicron, which is a milder variant of COVID, and psychologically the country needs to move on. I mean, absolutely, those in vulnerable groups test away. But the rest of us, what's the point?
You're speaking to the wrong person because I'm a hoarder. Also, I love a good freebie, and I'm Asian, and we stockpile. I came prepared for the pandemic. You know, my mum was bringing round random bags of shopping, like 5 kilos of lentils, 5 kilos of rice. So that was already in the house. We didn't go out and buy that. So I want to get my hand on as many tests as possible, and I'm really jealous. I'm really jealous because like that secret shopping, that's like what secret shoppers are doing, aren't they? Like they probably. Were you a secret shopper before? Because I'm a secret shopper as well. Not so secret now. But
what's a secret shopper?
A secret shopper, you go into a store for a particular company and to see what the services are like. So if you ever see me in a store, guys, better be nice and give me some freebies and I'll give you a nice report.
Remember that face? You've seen her on TV. Fascinating. Well, let's crack on. In Saturday's Mirror, a new virus has dropped. Great news for the world, isn't that, Diane? Just what we need to hear.
Oh, I mean, COVID is so old. Let's bring on a new one. And I love it because it's not... We've left the bats alone. Finally, we can let those lovely, disgusting, piggy-nosed animals free because it's a rat-borne virus. So it's called Lassa Fever. Now, it is very sad because it has actually found its way to the UK and unfortunately somebody has died. And it has come from West Africa and it is a hemorrhagic illness.
Oh dear.
Yes, so it's slightly...
We're back to bleeding, aren't we?
We are back to bleeding, I'm afraid. I mean, you read these symptoms, it's sort of headaches, sore throats, and then vomiting, and then it triggers bleeding from sort of areas up here, areas down there. I mean, I don't know about you, but that pretty much sounds like a hen do that's got out of control. But thankfully, it's going to be endemic. So it's only going to be sort of... squashed into sort of one place. It's not going to be pandemic, so we can all sort of chill out, but it may affect people who come into contact with like medical workers. But it's spread with rat feces, rat droppings. And it made me think, well, are people now... You should steer away from the 3-second rule. Like, if you drop food on the floor...
Doesn't work anymore.
No, yes, and you think you might have rats, don't. Leave it on the floor. It's not a sultana. Do not eat it. 3-second rule doesn't count anymore.
God, there you go. Public health advice. What more do you need? Now, Saturday's Guardian have a Labour MP seeing their whip removed after allegations of racism. Sajila.
Ah, right. So this is an interesting story. In the Guardian, so Labour basically suspends Labour whip Neil Cole after allegations of racist comments that he's made to a journalist, basically a reporter. This incident took place allegedly in the House of Commons bar called the Strangers Bar. What a strange name to call the Strangers Bar in the House of... And it was a political reporter called Henry Dyer. Now, Henry Dyer is of Chinese-British descent. And what happened was he's talking to him, and Foyle referred to China as Fu Manchu. Okay, and then he said that he thought he might be involved, that Dyer might be involved with the Barry Gardiner Labour MP, like, oh, you must be giving money to Barry Gardiner, alluding to the fact that Barry Gardiner received a load of money from a woman who later then was turned out to be a Chinese spy. Now, he did apologise, has to be said, in his defence. He did apologise in a statement to The Guardian, saying, "I'm very sorry for my insensitive comments. I have apologised to everyone involved and will be cooperating fully with the investigation." And I thought, oh, that's good. He's redeemed himself, because we all make mistakes. Until you read that Henry Dyer, also thinking, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, leaves the bar, waves to him, and on this racist gate date, and Dyer said he waved goodbye to Coyle, to which the MP responded with putting his 2 fingers up at him. Oh, I don't think he's sorry at all.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, this one's going to rumble and rumble, isn't it?
I think so, definitely. And I'm not saying that there should be energetic racism, but it sounds like lazy racism. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm a ginger person. It's like him coming up to me going, "How's Ed Sheeran and Prince Harry?" And it's like, what are you talking about, you strange weirdo?
Yeah. If you're going to be horribly intolerant, at least make an effort. Interesting stuff.
Cleverer. But it's true, be smart. I might even give you praise for being smart.
There you go, who knew? Prince Andrew, speaking of be smart, was apparently creepy with a massage therapist. Now, we can't verify this, but these are the allegations. So what do we think about this, Diane? Tell me the story.
So we knew that this would all come out of the woodwork, didn't we, when this started happening? So Emma Gruenbaum, who is now 50, alleges that back in 2005, which bear in mind for those of you watching the case, is when Epstein was sort of first taken to court. He was being investigated. She alleges that she was hired to go and give Prince Andrew a massage. She's 34 at the time. Now, she turns up and he is just there, completely naked, insisting on just having his towels. Now, I don't know whether she was just there to massage his feet or what, but apparently he sort of looms in close to her, and she's got this very, very detailed account about how he was asking inappropriate questions. And she says that the reason she's come forward is that she's watched him sort of rebuff everything that Virginia Giuffre has said, and it's just making her feel a bit ill and a bit sick. Now, what I find really interesting is the amount of other people who are clearly involved in this, because she sort of says, so I was booked by the secretary. So then a member of staff told me to not make a fuss. Like, there's clearly some kind of staffy paper trail that you could actually follow with this. Don't you think?
Yeah. I'm really starting to go off Prince Andrew.
Like we were ever on him. Like we were ever on him.
Speak for yourself, dear.
Yeah, no, the thing is, like, this is interesting, because I think women like Virginia Giuffre and this woman and everyone who calls out powerful men in these situations, I think they're brave and courageous and they should be applauded. But also, don't give them a happy ending. If a man asks for a happy ending in a massage parlour, masseuse ladies out there, make sure you've got rubber gloves around, Vicks Vapor Rub, and if they ask for that happy ending, put on the gloves, use the Vapor Rub, and give yourselves a happy ending.
What a brilliant idea. Yes. Or just show them the end of E.T.
Well, I do believe, I mean, the one thing he did do is that apparently he did this with a lot of masseuses. He did it with a lot of them. And Prince Andrew actually coined the phrase massage therapy because he had a massage and they all needed therapy.
Just after.
Very good. Very good.
Allegedly, and I've got no doubt that the Prince denies these allegations. There you go. Diane, you're going straight to the tower, let me tell you. But don't worry, they've got an in-house masseuse. Coming up, it turns out the North Macedonian president is a legend. Find out why after this.
GB News is the UK's home of discussion and debate
from all perspectives.
To stay up to date on the latest stories,
make sure that you subscribe to the GB News channel
right here on YouTube.
You can watch us live 24/7 across the whole world.
You can also check out exclusive content and catch up on previous episodes of your favourite shows.
Every day, we ask the questions
that you'd ask, so why not add your voice to the conversation in the comments section?
Don't forget to subscribe. We are GB News, Britain's news channel.
Every night at 11 on GB News, we bring you the next day's stories the day before.
It's basically like time travel.
If it's a big story, we'll cover it, guaranteed. But we'll also have some fun along the way.
Big opinions, big laughs. Sometimes big hair.
This is
Headliners, the paper review show that won't send you to sleep like the others will.
11 p.m, 7 nights a week. Join us.
Hello there, I'm Eamon Holmes.
And I'm Isabel Webster.
And we hope you can join us for
Breakfast with Eamon
and Isabel.
You make me laugh out loud, belly laugh.
Is that important first thing in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's me trying to be deadly serious. News is a serious business.
Yeah, I have to rein you in sometimes.
Well, it doesn't stop us laughing at it. It doesn't stop us having an opinion on what's going on.
Yeah.
And it certainly will not stop us reflecting what you think.
Weekdays from 6 to 9:30 on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton Tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Welcome back to Headliners. I'm Mark Dolan. With me, scrutinising tomorrow's papers, are banana cake goddess Sajila Kershi and pancake muncher. Sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Is it? Diane Spencer. Now let's get to our next stories. The embattled MP Rosie Duffield has contemplated defecting from Labour to the blue side of the aisle. This is in the Times, Sajila.
Oh, yes. So, actually, I'm a fan of Rosie Duffield. So Rosie Duffield is being tempted over to the other side by the Tory temptresses and even the Lib Dems, which I think means that they think she's a good one to kind of bring over.
Yeah.
And she's saying that she has been tempted, and the reason for that is that she feels that she doesn't feel that there's much difference between Keir Starmer and Corbyn in terms of, like, defending her with her activists, her local activists, especially on the stance of trans rights. And I don't know if you know, but she made that really passionate speech in the Commons about being a victim of domestic violence. However, I don't think we need to actually look at history of domestic violence or any kind of things for a woman to say that she believes in, in sex, basically her gender, her sexuality is she's a woman, and anyway, so she's not been getting the support from Keir Starmer, and she's now saying, I feel like going to them because they're being more supportive. They're giving me, of course they are. If you want someone to join your party, you are going to tempt them. If I want someone to come to me and be my side on an argument, I'm going to cook for them banana bread or pancakes if you like them, and I'm going to get you to be on my side, on my kind of team. But it's actually something that keeps coming up over and over again, where women are feeling like they're not being heard about how they are, and I do think that Labour should defend her and actually support her, but also not let activists weaponise, transphobia, like insults, to let that discussion happen, because I think we're shutting it down by doing that. There was a lot more, but I can't read because I'm too vain to put my glasses on, so sorry about that.
Listen, I mean, the bottom line is that whatever way you look at it, this is an issue for the Labour Party. Half of the population, the voting population, are female, and many females will be very sympathetic to Rosie's situation. And if she goes across to the Tories, that's a blow for Keir Starmer, isn't it?
Well, definitely. I mean, Rosie has said that she's fed up of fighting within her own party. She feels like her views are not heard, and she's worried about going to a Labour conference in case she's attacked. And then she was weighing it up and saying, well, I kind of want to go to the Conservatives, but she said, how do I square Brexit? How do I square immigration? And she can't agree with the Tories. But I'm like, weigh it up, mate. Like, you can stand there and listen to the string quartet, or you can get on the lifeboat, but weigh it up.
Either way, yeah, and pick a side and make a decision. A fascinating story. We watched that one with keen interest. In The Guardian, the Isle of Man is to pardon men convicted of historical homosexual acts. The one place you would have thought homosexual acts were OK, Diane?
Well, I am absolutely delighted about this. This is good, so homosexuality was decriminalised on the Isle of Man in 1992, and they only just had their first gay pride event last summer. So it's taken 29 years from decriminalisation to actually having a nice sort
Apparently
of
they still don't know about the Beatles.
Oh, should we send them a telegram? Or maybe a pigeon? We could send...
They're currently enjoying season 2 of Dallas.
Oh my gosh, we should go over there and tell them there's this whole thing. We should be able to predict the future. Is it North Korea or the Isle of Man? I do get them confused.
I know.
There's a fine line. There's a fine line. But look, it's an important step, isn't it? I mean, clearly it's a very sort of quaint historic quirk that those convictions still exist. But symbolically, it's important to move on.
It's very important symbolically to move on. And what's really important is actually that the police do need to apologise, which is becoming sort of a regular feature of the news. Yeah. But in this case, they really do, because of the way that they harassed people who they felt were homosexual, or if they had proof, and they would camp outside their houses, they would go into their homes, they would rifle through their things, they would basically subject them to a really horrible campaign of just... come on, think of a really good word, of just horrible imposition.
Persecution, I suppose.
Oh, God, that's perfect. Thank you. Sorry. It was a horrible campaign of persecution. And so now that people will be pardoned, that's a great first step. And now I think the people who are still living there would really welcome just that extra little step of the police saying, do you know what? we also behaved pretty appallingly, and then they can just all sit together and have a nice party. And who doesn't love a Pride event?
Yeah,
they are fun.
Too right.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Diana, because they've only just had Gay Pride, right?
Yeah.
I used to joke about Taliban or Kabul. I'd like to see Gay Pride in Kabul. And apparently, Kabul has had Gay Pride, and the Isle of Man has not.
What does that tell you? You should maybe flee the Isle of Man.
I
Run
can
for the hills.
imagine you in feathers and hot pants. You'd have a great time.
Oh, definitely. I love those Pride events. Mainly the
I have
cocktails.
seen you in feathers and hot pants, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I feel quite typecast at this point. But I've got the legs to pull it off. Next up in the mail, a rare event, some feel-good news from the Balkans, Sajila.
OK, so I had to Google this because I didn't know where. Because I watch a lot of Netflix, like, as you know, the romantic, like, things. And so I thought Macedonia was made up, but it's actually a real place. So obviously, yeah, all right.
It's not from Disney.
You can write in there, no, this is so stupid. But yeah, this is a really heartwarming, beautiful story of sticking it to the bullies, OK? And so this 11-year-old girl with Down syndrome was walked to school by the North Macedonia's president after he heard that she sits in a classroom on her own after the pupils and, shockingly, the parents were picking on her. And the parents didn't want their children to be studying in a room with her because they said she was aggressive. Well, you know what? If I was picked on, no matter what, I'd be probably aggressive. And so this poor little girl, 11 years old, her name's Embla Ademi. This story gets to the president, Stevo Pendrowski, and he walks her to school, holds hands with her, and shows the world that this is awful, and then speaks to the parents about all the issues that they've had with having a Down syndrome child and how they're not being included. And he states that we are all equal in society. I came here to give my support and to raise awareness that inclusion is a basic principle. And it really was, like, it really touched me. And, I don't know if anyone's been bullied, but when I was at school, we were bullied, obviously, for, being a different, being Asian. And I remember that we'd see, like, a group of kids standing there looking ominous. It's a bit like what's happening in Russia. They're just piling their troops there and just, being threatening. And if someone had held my hand, someone that was important, someone that they looked up to, a pop star or something, it would have made my life a lot easier. So I have a great sympathy, and also being, having a few disabilities myself, which aren't visible, but how you can. I'm deaf, so I get a lot of people acting, like, oh gosh, like, oh, did you hear that? Whatever. I think inclusivity is such an important thing. I haven't even said the word right. Being inclusive is really important. And please, like, if you are, like, in the public eye in some way and you hear these stories, do what this president did of Macedonia, and go and, raise awareness by being nice to those who've been bullied.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cheesy, but I just think that's...
Yeah. No, I think it's a really good point. Do you think if Boris Johnson offered to take kids to school, they'd be like, no, I'm all right, thanks?
No, that's the opposite. That's the opposite.
I get a bus. It's 3 stops.
Yeah.
You're busy.
Oh, COVID.
Yeah, the touch of the COVIDs, touch of the Omicrons.
It would just be opposite. The bullies would get worse.
Who would you like to be taken to school by if you were roll back the years?
Oh my gosh, I would say Fox and Mulder. No, Fox, Mulder and Scully from The X-Files. If I could have one on each hand, that would be amazing. And just be like, why are you hanging out with
It's funny, I've often imagined a threesome with those guys as well, but for different reasons. Nothing to do with getting to school on time. Brilliant stuff. Well, look, let's move on. A Belgian opposition MP wants to ban online shopping. The Guardian have got this story, Diane. Tell me more.
Well, the leader of... so Belgium has a governing coalition, and Paul Magnier, I'm going to guess.
You style it out. We've got quite a big audience in Belgium, so you better get that right.
Please, correct me as much as you like, my darlings. Paul Magnier, the leader of the Socialist Party, has said that he wants to phase out... Well, he actually wants to abolish internet shopping because he fears that people are working late at night, and he's like, oh, can we really not wait 2 days for a book? And I'm like, dude, no. Like, one of the most fun things about internet shopping is that wherever you are, you could go, do you know what? I am going to get that metallic leotard and that sparkly hoop. I'm going to get the roller boots as well. Let's go for it. And you just like, next minute, you know, you've done it on your phone, and then 2 days later it pops in, and okay, you were drunk at the time. I mean, you guys, have you been drunk shopping?
Drunk shopping is a disaster. I once accidentally bought the complete works of Elton John.
Oh, that's not. That's a good buy.
Well, no, apart from a sort of slightly dodgy patch in the mid-'80s, it was a good purchase. But I've got to say, I found out to my cost, he's made a lot of albums.
Oh, I see.
Took a while
That's a lot of money.
to recover that investment, let me tell
Was
you.
that drunk internet shopping?
Yeah, it was years ago. It was years ago.
Oh, but at least you've got alcohol to blame. I'm sober and I order I'm so addicted to online shopping. It's like evangelical shopping. Like you think, who'd buy this? 5 minutes later, I'm like, I need this. I need to get self-tanning lotion. Yes, that's what I need. I need self-tanning lotion. And then I get it home and I think, what have I just done? You know.
Yep.
But I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Because it used to be online purchases for really big things like TVs that you wouldn't want to go into a shop and carry out. But my 16-year-old son buys deodorant online now.
That's okay. Intense. I mean, but it is.
It's bizarre.
It isn't it? It is bizarre, especially if you just buy that one thing.
Yeah.
And it just like I was literally looking at an online shopping website the other day, and I was like, I do need some nail polish remover, and I thought, am I really going to get somebody to just bring a £5 bottle to my house? It is crazy. But this guy, Paul Magnet.
That'll do. Who I'm told is a bit of a babe magnet, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, he's quite the dish. As most Belgian men are, I would suggest.
What, like Poirot?
Well, they've got the thing about Belgian men, they've got the very sort of rather smooth, seductive accent and access to good chocolate. So, what's not to like?
It's a double.
And also roast chicken.
Roast chicken?
And mussels.
Aren't
they famous? Aren't the Belgians famous for their poulet, for the rotisserie chicken? Is that not a
I'll
Belgian
bypass
thing?
the chicken and just go for the chocolates.
Yeah, straight in there.
Chocolate. I thought it's like chocolate and beer. I thought that was it. I mean, I'm still there.
You had me at chocolate and beer. Brilliant stuff. Well, look, I interrupted you. You were naming him, but you were going to make a point.
I was going to make a point because he said that night work should be limited. But he also said that night work, I mean, you know, you've got 3 comedians here. We all work at night.
Correct.
So please do not limit that. But also, he was saying it should be limited to where strictly necessary. But it should also, I think he was saying it should be included in the emergency services. And I was like, well, yeah, because A&E's never busy after 8 p.m. on a Friday. Like, are you sure?
Yeah.
So, crazy.
You do wonder, don't you? Well, look, so much more to get through in our next section of the show. We'll be discussing in depth whether Colin the caterpillar is gay. See you after the weather.
Hello again, I'm Aidan McGibbon. Dry for much of the time in the southeast during the next 24 hours, but turning wetter and windier elsewhere. However, as that wet and windy weather arrives, it brings with it milder air. Cold air is ahead of these weather fronts as they push into parts of Northern Ireland and Scotland during the evening. And as a result, well, on the forward band of the rain, there'll be some snow for a time above 300 or 400 metres across Scotland and northern England, but it doesn't last. The winds pick up from the southwest, coastal gales for western Scotland, and milder air pushing in. So eventually most of this stuff is rain. It pushes into northern England, West Wales by the end of the night. Drier ahead of it, a touch of frost possible in East Anglia, the southeast, but eventually temperatures lift through the night as the winds pick up. It's a bright start for parts of the Midlands, East Anglia, southern England first thing, and skies brighten through the morning for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Blustery showers push in here, but also some sunny spells. It's in between where we've got some heavy and persistent rain. Northern England, eventually the Midlands, Wales, and then by the end of the day, Cornwall as well as Devon. Temperatures aren't up to much either, 8, 9, 10 Celsius, but not feeling very pleasant where we've got the wind and the rain. Now into Saturday night, the rain tends to sink south. By this stage, it's lighter and patchier, but during the early hours of Sunday, the next batch of wet and windy weather starts to arrive into southwest England as well as Wales. Drier to the east and to the north, some clear spells for central and northern Scotland, a few showers here. But Sunday, really, for the vast majority, soon turns wet and windy. From the west, bands of rain and wind sweep through, coastal gales for the south coast of England, and the most heavy and persistent rain affecting Wales. And really through the course of Saturday and Sunday, because of the accumulated rain, we could see some issues here. Monday is also very changeable, with spells of rain or showers moving south, likewise on Tuesday.
GB News is the UK's home of discussion and debate
from all perspectives.
To stay up to date on the latest stories,
make sure that you subscribe to the GB News channel
right here on YouTube.
You can watch us live 24/7 across the whole world.
You can also check out exclusive content and catch up on previous episodes of your favourite shows.
Every day, we ask the questions
that you'd ask, so why not add your voice to the conversation in the comments section?
Don't forget to subscribe. We are GB News, Britain's news channel.
Every night at 11 on GB News, we bring you the next day's stories the day before.
It's basically like time travel.
If it's a big story, we'll cover it, guaranteed. But we'll also have some fun along the way.
Big opinions, big laughs. Sometimes big hair.
This is
Headliners, the paper review show that won't send you to sleep like the others will.
11 p.m, 7 nights a week. Join us.
Hello there, I'm Eamon Holmes.
And I'm Isabel Webster.
And we hope you can join us for
Breakfast with Eamon.
And Isabel.
You make me laugh out loud, belly laugh.
Is that important first thing in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's me trying to be deadly serious. News is a serious business.
Yeah, I have to rein you in sometimes.
Well, it doesn't stop us laughing at it. It doesn't stop us having an opinion on what's going on.
Yeah.
And it certainly will not stop us reflecting what you think.
Weekdays from 6 to 9:30 on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Welcome back to Headliners with me, Mark Dolan. We're looking at tomorrow's papers in the company of the comedic double threat of Sajeela Kershi and Diane Spencer. Now, the Met, the, of course, biggest police force in Europe, seem to be in perpetual crisis. Another officer has been found guilty of misconduct, Sajeela.
Yes, so Met Police Sergeant, he's 48 years old, is going to be stripped of his rank after kissing a female junior and pinching her cheek. I have to stress, it's this cheek that he pinched on her face, not anywhere else. And then he basically, he said, when he got done for this, he said it was his Mediterranean Greek background that made him do this. And he basically grabbed hold of this woman. She's in a car, and then just did, what's that, headlocked her, and then grabbed her. And first we showed photos of other women. These are the women that I'm having to date now because you won't date me. And then thought he'd follow that by giving her a headlock, kissing her on the cheek, and tweaking her cheek. And obviously she was insulted and outraged. This is the middle of a shift, and you know they've got two people in the back of the car that they've just arrested, two drugs. I've just made that up.
Couple of burglars, 3 terrorists.
Yeah, in the drive-in.
The terrorists are like, hey, that's out of order, mate.
Yeah, don't touch her.
You crossed the line.
Yeah,
You're a bad person.
Yeah, that's misogyny, man. That's misogyny. That's total well out of order.
That's got something to look forward to. Woke terrorists, by the way. They're coming, folks.
Yeah, they're coming. They are. I'm telling you, they're coming. They've already got the Taliban who are hiring a woman.
That's true. Taliban 2.0.
I know. I think it could be happening.
Who knew?
But this is interesting because it's like, you know, we talk about cultural stuff and how it's different. Now, I'm quite a touchy-feeling person, and before the pre-pandemic, I've stopped that now. And I thought, okay, because somebody could now, because we have this woke culture where somebody, I touch an knee and oh my God, you know, and I'm quite touchy because I'm quite mumsy, I'm quite maternal, but that could be misconstrued. I was introduced on stage the other day. I was doing Let's Kill Twitter, the live show, and I said something about the sound tech, and I said, oh, the sound tech. I said, well, how are you? So how long have you been here? Because I've got my girlfriend, she's over there in the back. And I was like, did I just come across as sexually pesty then? Because I thought I was just asking how...
Well, we know that Kershi's always on the shark,
Kershi's
don't we?
on that. Kershi's still got it, yeah.
The international symbol of the shark.
I have never seen that before. That is amazing.
I know. But it's like, I'm a woman of a certain age and I just wouldn't pounce myself on someone, unless, of course, they were deliciously handsome and I couldn't stop myself. But, okay, no, I wouldn't. I was joking.
But is the cultural defence a convincing one for this police officer?
No, because, like, I don't know how long he's been here, but, you know, you work for the Met Police, mate. They are a certain standard, a code of conduct that you should be adhering to. That's got nothing to do with culture, different cultures. And that is, like, you know, when in Rome, do with the Romans, or when in the UK, in the Met Police, maybe that's what he was doing, do with the Met Police, because they've all been a bit naughty, haven't they?
Yeah.
Not all of them, some of them, a lot of them.
Too right. Although I'm tempted to head to Greece and see whether I can get my cheeks some attention.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that. He did some other stuff, right, which you can't blame on being Greek. Like, there's this bit where he says he was accused of opening the door to the lavatory, knowing the female officer was inside. Now, unless he was there going, don't flush the loo paper down the toilet, remember, put it in the bin, that is the only connection to his Greek.
And that is my argument against sharing toilets.
By the way, stripped of his rank, does that mean he's lost his job as a police officer? Do we know?
Or does it mean he's busted down to, like,
no.
Because,
I mean, look, I'm not one for cancel culture, but that anecdote about grabbing this woman, which is an assault, really, if we're honest.
It is.
And then the horrific invasion of opening a toilet door. Is that a sackable offence?
I think it's a sackable offence, but what they've done is, like, do you remember Darcy and Muttley?
Yes.
Attached to a pigeon, you're probably maybe too young, and they used to get stripped of the badges. So they've just stripped him with a couple of badges and just demoted him a little bit, thinking that will teach him a lesson. But I think he should have been. I think that is quite gross misconduct. You know, to sexually assault someone.
I think what's really alarming as well is that she's a police officer, he's a police officer, so technically it's also quite a fair fight, because I've had somebody try to do that to me before, sort of lunge in for a kiss, and I've literally sort of had to physically defend myself. But she's got the technique, but you wouldn't expect that to come from somebody who you want to be backing you up if you've got to chase like burglars and stuff, or if you're in some kind of riot and you need to have your officers with you. It's just such a massive lack of trust.
That's where I think we should bring in the rubber gloves and the Vicks Vapo Rub again, and torture.
Is that your chat-up line?
Hashtag smart.
Is that your first manoeuvre in a romantic
my first
encounter?
Manoeuvre, yes. Here's my glove and here's some, Vapo Rub.
You won't feel a thing.
You won't feel a thing.
Well, look, that does seem to have been appalling behaviour on the part of that officer, and it's a genuinely concerning story. Saturday's Times next. Women-only carriages, a welcome idea or a worrying indictment of a patriarchal society? Diane.
Well, this is happening with ScotsRail. So Jenny Gilrath, the Transport Minister, she has had a problem with drunk men coming and sitting near her and harassing her on the trains. But to solve this problem, she has just the ticket, and she's decided to make female-only sections of the train to solve this miscarriage of injustice. But personally, I think she's off the rails. Sorry, I'm getting off track.
I don't think that we can follow that.
No.
I wonder if there's a way to end the show early.
Well, it's all because of these men.
We've peaked.
4 hours were spent writing that, I think. That's brilliant stuff, though.
Oh, I've got one more. I've got one more. These men, and they're coming on to her. I think there's just too many signalling problems.
Oh. That's actually very nice. Was it the wrong kind of men in the carriage?
Well, is there a wrong kind of man?
I'm not sure there is. But do you remember that years ago when they talked about the wrong type of snow on the tracks, which is why the trains couldn't go? So it seems like another excuse. But I want to ask you, Diane, whether you think this is sort of, I don't know, dividing our society again. I mean, why can't we just get men to behave better rather than have women-only carriages?
I don't think a women-only carriage, personally, I don't like the idea at all, because where are you going to, OK, number one, where are you going to put the carriage? You're going to put it at the back? Are we now all going to sit at the back? Number two, what is it, the red carriage? You know, like, women were banished to the red tent and things like that. Women have been segregated throughout history, and I think we've earned our place to sit next to everybody else.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll get to the point where being a woman is the new smoking.
Oh, my God.
Because you used to have a smoking-only carriage, now it's a woman-only carriage. You know
I mean, we are very...
And it will be the last carriage, won't it? You'll have to like schlep along with all your bags and stuff, you know.
But also,
puffing and puffing.
Like, if you make all the women travel together, we'll all synchronise, and then once a month, they're just going to have to, like, they'll sell so many chocolate bars and, like, hot water bottles on that carriage, but it'll be a very grumpy carriage to be in.
Well, also, I don't want to be followed home and go and share a carriage with, after gigs, and have to share a carriage with, you know, maybe hen nights that I've been performing to.
Yeah.
I can imagine that'd be a nightmare. And I think a quiet carriage, perhaps, for everyone. But yeah, I think you're right. We need to teach our men to be different, not legislate to. And I think are we all in agreement with something?
Yeah, I would have.
We are. Did we just all agree on something?
Well, I think we did, and let's not make a habit of it.
Oh my God, it's
I would
scary.
have a no eating carriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, okay, it's all right with sarnies and things like that, but when people come on a train with a Mackie D's or a Burger King, it's not good, is it?
The smell it goes throughout the whole, and they've all got those really pungent sort of smells, and it can make you feel quite nauseous, actually, especially if you, like me, you're super late, so you've just like run up the thing, and you've got this mask on because you've still got to wear the mask, so you're already like sucking through cotton, and then you walk onto the train, and it's just like liquid fat in the air. Yeah.
We've painted quite the picture there. Now, this is an absolutely earth-shattering story. Forget about ensuing war in Ukraine. One of the most important questions of our time. Is Colin the Caterpillar gay? Diane?
Yes.
Well,
or is it you, Sajila?
Oh, it is me, yes.
But
yes,
she's got views. I bet you've got views.
We've both got this. Girl, we got this. Yeah, because Colin the Caterpillar, Marks and Spencer's have launched a limited edition of their popular Colin the Caterpillar range of treats in time for Valentine's Day with same-sex Colin. So it's Colin and Colin or Connie and Connie. I'm just thinking, can't we have... It sounds more like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that they're just the same. Shouldn't we just have like Colin and Chris or Connie and Carol, you know? But it's a fantastic idea. I think I love this. You can also get half-size Colin and Connie in one pack, and it's £10 each for 2 cakes. And yeah, I think it's fantastic that we got like gay Colin. But I want Colin to have not have another Colin. I want Colin to have Chris or
Trevor.
Yeah. I was just going with alliteration, but yeah, Trevor.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, it's a good old school name, Trevor. I like that.
Yeah. And, like, you know, you could have, like, caterpillars themselves don't actually have genders. Let's remember that. It's a creature that has no gender until it gets in its little chrysalis and it just plays video games for about 3 years and then it pops out in the gender.
Does that mean a caterpillar could win Best Music Act at the Brits?
Oh, my God,
Potentially, next year. Watch this space.
It's, first of all, it has to cancel a Vegas residency first. That's one of the rules. I think this is quite lovely, but I really like your take on it. I think that's really great. I think they should mix it up. And instead of having them identical, like, you've got to have the bear, you've got to have the, you know, the clean-shaven one and the hairy one.
YMCA you're describing.
Hell, give them hats. Like, let's mix it up. Let's make it really fun. Yeah.
Koala bears are known to be riddled with chlamydia. Diane, strong personal views on this?
God, I didn't know that.
Yes. Well, you see, apparently the Environment Minister, an Environment Minister, or possibly the one, because they have a federal system in Australia, so I'm a little confused. But they have announced that they're going to downgrade the koala. So this crucial animal, as we all know, koalas for centuries have been pulling...
They're very productive, aren't
carts. They've been brilliant typists.
Fighting in war.
They went to the moon. They're brilliant. Koalas, right? They're being...
And we famously enjoy their meat.
Yeah, delicious. Love a koala...
burger?
A koala mince, bolognese. Smells of pee. So they've been downgraded to endangered, which will obviously help people to not hit them with their cars. Koalas are notoriously stupid animals. They have smooth brains and they spend most of their time sleeping. They've got a lot of chlamydia. They're really not very popular. Apparently they smell horrendous, but it's important that the Australian government are going to sign up to a national recovery plan worth 50 million Australian dollars over 4 years to save our noble. I'm not even.
Chlamydia-ridden koalas. If they're sleeping all the time, how are they getting chlamydia? That's what I'd like to know.
They are also rapists. Sorry about that.
Go on, tell me more.
They
Hashtag koala too.
So just trigger warning. So what happens is the koala sort of doesn't even bother to sort of check if the female is ovulating. There's no fancy dancing like any of those.
They go out for dinner. They go to like All Bar One or something.
I mean, no. You might see them at a couple of the lower establishments, a couple of cafes, but it's unlikely. Do you know what I mean? Like koalas, they don't have a big budget. They don't really do much work. So they just sort of climb on and do their bit and spread chlamydia. But
that's horrible.
Thank goodness they're going to get 50 million. Because my theory is, if they're going to get 50 million, maybe I can apply to the national concert. I can be an
yourself in that group.
There. I don't mind. Like, I'll dress up as a koala. Can I get some money? I don't mind.
I think that the Australians are lucky there that they've got an animal that represents the country, the koala bear. You think of Australia, don't you?
Yeah.
What have we got? I mean, we've got the British bulldog, I suppose. But do we need a better animal?
I don't like the
Something
koalas.
cuter?
Koalas make horrible noises. Now I know why, because they're being raped.
Well, Australians make funny noises too, but that's another story. I want to thank my fantastic guests tonight on Headliners, Diane Spencer and Sajila Kershi, who will return very shortly. They are part of the dream team here in what is a late-night romp through the papers. We'll do it all again tomorrow at 11. And I'm back from 9 with a really, really big show, so I'll see you then.
Hello there, I'm Eamon Holmes.
And I'm Isabel Webster.
And we hope you can join us for
Breakfast with Eamon.
And Isabel.
You make me laugh out loud, belly laugh.
Is that important first thing in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's me trying to be deadly serious. News is a serious business.
Yeah, I have to rein you in sometimes.
Well, it doesn't stop us laughing at it. It doesn't stop us having an opinion on what's going on.
Yeah.
And it certainly will not stop us reflecting what you think.
Weekdays from 6 to 9:30 on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood, and every weekday we bring you The Briefing live from 9:30 a.m. The stories, analysis and live debate that you need to hear.
Quite right, Tom, of course.
Was this something that had been considered at all?
Difficult to answer.
Gas-guzzling helicopters circling. Noise is being made here.
Joe Biden walking out.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, Monday to Friday, 9:30 a.m. on GB News.
GB News is the UK's home of discussion and debate
from all perspectives.
To stay up to date on the latest stories,
make sure that you subscribe to the GB News channel
right here on YouTube.
You can watch us live 24/7 across the whole world.
You can also check out exclusive content and catch up on previous episodes of your favourite shows.
Every day, we ask the questions
that you'd ask, so why not add your voice to the conversation in the comments section?
Don't forget to subscribe. We are GB News, Britain's news channel.
Every night at 11 on GB News, we bring you the next day's stories the day before.
It's basically like time travel.
If it's a big story, we'll cover it, guaranteed. But we'll also have some fun along the way.
Big opinions, big laughs. Sometimes big hair.
This is
Headliners, the paper review show that won't send you to sleep like the others will.
11 p.m, 7 nights a week. Join us.
Hello there, I'm Eamon Holmes.
And I'm Isabel Webster.
And we hope you can join us for
Breakfast with Eamon.
And Isabel.
You make me laugh out loud, belly laugh.
Is that important first thing in the morning?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's me trying to be deadly serious. News is a serious business.
Yeah, I have to rein you in sometimes.
Well, it doesn't stop us laughing at it. It doesn't stop us having an opinion on what's going on.
Yeah.
And it certainly will not stop us reflecting what you think.
Weekdays from 6 to 9:30 on GB News.
I'm Dan Wootton. Join me Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 for the feistiest and most fun news debate on TV, where free speech reigns. I'll bring you a sharp take on the day's biggest stories, bombshell newsmaker interviews, and A-list guests. And I guarantee you, no spin, no bias, no censorship, and no reason to go to bed. That's Dan Wootton tonight, Monday to Thursdays from 9 on GB News.
Welcome. No, you haven't got the date wrong. I'm here on a Friday evening in a completely unfamiliar part of the studio for one night only. Coming up on the show, I'll be catching up with the epic adventure of the Canadian truckers and hearing how their protest against vaccine mandates has now spread to Europe. Even as I speak, a convoy of vehicles is en route to